Okay, did everyone see like something popped up and said the meeting's being recorded?
Yes, we did, Giselle.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm going to share my screen, and what I'm going to have visible for everyone are the roles and the responsibilities of each position. We will start with the PTA president, and then we will work our way down. Please tell me if you can see the duties of officers on your screen. If someone could just. Okay, excellent. Thank you. So we are starting with the PTA president's roles and responsibility. So the president of the PTA shall preside at all meetings of the association and shall be the ex officio member of all committees except the nominating committee. The president shall appoint chairpersons of association committees with the approval of the executive board. The president shall delegate responsibilities to other association members and shall encourage meaningful participation in all parent and school activities. The president shall attend all regular meetings of the president's council and shall be a mandatory member of the school leadership team. The president shall meet regularly with the executive board members in accordance with these bylaws to plan the agendas for the general membership meetings. The president shall be one of the eligible signatories on the checks. The president shall assist with the June transfer of association records to all the incoming executive board. Now, PS 235 at this time does not have a co-president position, so I'm not going to read that. I will say this. Once a new school year starts and a new board is elected, at any time the new board members can get together and make changes and updates to the bylaws. It is not written in stone. So if this is something that going forward, PS 235 PTA board would like to have a co-president, that is something that can be written into the bylaws, and now that will be in effect. So I, at this time, will pause, and I'm going to open the floor for nominations for the PTA president for the upcoming school year 24-25. You can unmute and say the person's name. And of course, that person has to be present here, and that person would have to accept the nomination for that position. So I'm going to leave the floor at this time. It's open. PTA president, would you like to nominate yourself or a parent for that role?
I nominate Hartwell Allen.
Okay.
I second the nomination.
That's the only,
Thank you.
No,
At this time, we have two nominations for Mr. Hartwell Aline for the PTA president for the upcoming school year.
I agree for Hartwell Allen to be the next president for PTA.
So that's the third nomination. We have three nominations for Mr. Hartwell Aline.
I agree. 4.
I agree. 5.
It continues on. Mr. Aline, you are here with us. I would need you at this time to unmute and to accept openly the nomination for the upcoming school year PTA president.
I accept.
Thank you. So we have Mr. Hartwell Aline as the nominated parent for the PTA president. Is there anyone else that would like to nominate themselves or another parent? We shall continue along. I am now moving down to the PTA Vice President. So the Vice President shall assist the President and shall assume the President's duties in his or her absence, or at the President's request. The Vice President shall be one of the signatories on all checks. The Vice President shall assist with the June transfer of association records to the incoming Executive Board. At this time, I am opening the floor for nominations for the role of PTA Vice President for the upcoming school year 24-25.
I nominate Erica Carrington.
I second that nomination for Erica Carrington. Morris, I think it's Morris, right?
I'm sorry. I also nominate. I third the nomination. Sorry.
Okay.
Also, I agree. I'm
I agree.
nominating Erica Carrington.
Nomination.
So I just heard about 5 nominations for Ms. Erica Carrington Morris for PTA Vice President for the upcoming school year. Ms. Carrington Morris, can you unmute and either accept this nomination?
I accept.
Okay. Thank you. The floor is still open before we continue on for any parent who would like to nominate themselves or another parent for the role of Vice President. Okay. We shall continue along. Secretary. Recording secretary. The secretary shall record minutes at all association meetings. The secretary's responsibilities shall include the preparation of notices, agendas, sign-in sheets, and materials for distribution. The secretary shall prepare and read the minutes of each association meeting and shall distribute copies of the minutes at the next scheduled meeting for review and approval by the general membership. The secretary shall maintain custody of the association's records on school premises. The secretary shall incorporate all amendments into the bylaws and shall ensure that signed copies of the bylaws with the latest amendments are on file in the principal's office. The secretary shall be responsible for reviewing, maintaining, and responding to all correspondence addressed to the association. The secretary shall assist with the June transfer of all association records, including all pertinent user IDs and passwords, to the incoming Executive Board. At this time, the floor is open for any parent to nominate themselves or someone else for the role of recording secretary for next year's PTA.
I nominate Colette Jackson.
I second that nomination for Colette Jackson.
I also nominate Colette Jackson for secretary.
I third that.
I nominate Colette Jackson.
Okay, thank you, parents. So we have 4 nominations. Ms. Jackson, please unmute and accept or decline the nomination for recording secretary.
I accept the nomination.
Thank you. The floor is still open. Is there anyone else that would like at this time to nominate themselves or another parent for the recording secretary role? We're going smooth tonight. Next role we have is the treasurer. The treasurer shall be responsible for all financial affairs and funds of the association. The treasurer shall be also responsible for maintaining an updated record of all income and expenditures on school premises and shall be one of the signatories on checks. The treasurer shall adhere to and implement all financial procedures established by the association. The treasurer shall prepare and present a written report of all transactions at every executive board and general membership meeting. The report must include income, refunds, reimbursements, and other expenditures, and opening and closing balances for the reporting period. The treasurer shall also prepare the association's interim and annual financial reports. The treasurer shall make available all books and financial records for viewing by members upon request and for audit. The treasurer shall assist with the June transfer of all association records, including all pertinent user IDs and passwords to the incoming executive board. This is a major title, meaning we just nominated a president, we just nominated a recording secretary, but in order for any PTA board to be a functioning PTA board and to be recognized, the three roles that must be filled: president, secretary, and treasurer. So this position is very important for us to have a functioning PTA come the new school year. So at this time, the floor is open for any parent to nominate themselves or someone else for the role of PTA treasurer.
At this time, I nominate Sonia McIntosh for the role of treasurer.
I second that.
I third Sonia McIntosh for treasurer.
I fourth that nomination.
Thank you, parents. Ms. McIntosh, can you unmute and accept or decline this nomination?
I accept the nomination.
Thank you. Before we continue on with the assistant treasurer role, the floor is open for a little longer for any other parent that would like to nominate themselves or someone else. Okay, we shall continue. Assistant treasurer. The assistant treasurer shall assist the treasurer in collecting, counting, and securing all PTA monies, and shall assist in all other duties as requested by the treasurer. At this time, is there a parent that would like to nominate themselves or another parent for the role of assistant treasurer?
I nominate Mandy Bob.
I second.
I third.
I fourth.
I too would like to nominate Mandy Bob.
Okay. So that was about 5 nominations for Miss Mandy Bob for the role of assistant treasurer for the coming school year. Miss Bob, can you please unmute and accept or decline this nomination?
That was good. Okay, I accept. Thank you. Okay, I accept.
Thank you, Miss Bob. Okay. Families, if you're with us, the floor is still open at this time for nomination for the role of assistant treasurer. Okay. Correspondence secretary. Correspondence secretary. The correspondence secretary shall be responsible for recording the mail received by the PTA and for preparing responses for correspondences at the request of the president. At this time, is there a parent that would like to nominate themselves for the role of correspondence secretary?
I nominate Ava Hollingsworth.
Ms. Hollingsworth, can you unmute and either accept this nomination for correspondence secretary or decline the nomination?
To respond?
I see you thinking, Ava.
I'm nervous, but I accept.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So we have a nomination for correspondent secretary, and that is Miss Ava Hollingsworth, who have accepted. I'm going to continue along with positions, but I hope it's not the wrong timing, add some additional insight into a couple of the roles and responsibilities. So also want you to feel completely free that the election will happen in 2 weeks. So still being mindful that there are 2 weeks, not to cancel or change your mind, but letting you know that yes, there is 2 weeks from today for the election to happen. And so that 2-week period is a period for you to reach out to the board, for us to have conversations, all of that. So feel, really supported. This has been a filled board. We have every position here filled. So we have members that are currently sitting that will be able to, if you have outside additional questions. So don't feel too pressured, but knowing that in 2 weeks, that day will come for the actual election to happen. So appreciate the nominations, keep it coming, and all of the acceptance that we've had so far. This is continuing to be a great day. We have next a member at large, and this is open. There are 2 member at large positions on PS 235 PT. Member at large, although the duties are not defined, member at large in learning the operation of the PTA shall assist the executive board in any functions as requested. So this is a role where you are a part of the executive board because it is written in our bylaws, but your roles and responsibilities would be, I'm here to assist where needed. And so this is a position that is always encouraged for a parent that, like it said there, you're learning about the operation of this PTA and you're kind of like, I want to know a little more. So I'm starting off here. And there are 2 positions on our board right now. So at this time, the floor is open for any parent to nominate themselves or nominate another parent for a member at large position.
Hi, this is Kamisha. I'm gonna self-nominate for a member at large.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Reed.
Osney Lewis for member at large.
I second that, and I second for Kamisha,
Agree.
both for Mr. Osney and for Kamisha.
Okay. I want to make sure I received the correct name. Ms. Reed is being nominated for member at large, and the second name is
Osney Lewis.
Mr. Lewis. Okay. Okay. Got it. Thank you. Now, we mentioned 2 positions, but like you saw earlier, there was a pause because on the ballot, we can have multiple names, right? So there are 2 positions. If you are here as a parent and you're, again, considering, you're free to unmute and to add your name to this pool of member at large for the upcoming school year. So I'm going to leave the floor open before we continue.
Madam President, I
Yes.
just wanted to clarify. For this round, for the first parent at large, I'm nominating Ms. Reed, and I'll hold until the second round when you announce the second position, and we'll proceed with Mr. Lewis.
Oh, no, I wrote down both their names. It's 2 positions, so the names can
Okay.
just come in. Right? Yeah, I just need the names to be said out loud.
Okay.
Ms. Reed self-nominated, so I don't have to ask her if she's accepted. And for Mr. Lewis, Mr. Lewis, was it a self-nomination or was someone
That's me. That was me, Giselle. This is Hartwell, Aline, nominating Mr. Lewis.
Okay, so Mr. Lewis, I do need you to unmute and to say yes, you have accepted or declined the nomination for member at large.
Yes, I accept
Okay.
the nomination for member at large.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Are there any other nominations for the 2 member-at-large positions? We shall continue along. We have next our Community Education Council representative. This is a position that is also, all these positions are vital. This position in particular, I want to say a little more at this time, just so that any parent that's nominated themselves kind of have some more information. The CEC is a monthly requirement. So on behalf of PS 235, you will be attending meetings outside of our board meetings. You will be attending in-person meeting at the superintendent's office, which is located at East 95th Street in Canarsie. So this is a position where you'll be involved with PS 235, but you're also actively attending these meetings once a month. As of right now, the meetings are scheduled for the first Monday of every month. The meeting goes from 7 to 9. Or from 6 to 9. The time frame, I think sometimes it starts at 6, but the time range I'm giving, because that can change, is between the hours of 6 to 9. So keep that in mind, that you will be attending the meetings and getting all of that good information, because you're our link between the district and the news and what's happening in District 18, and bringing that back to share with families at our general meeting. So this is a little more information about the CEC rep position. So at this time, the floor is open for any parent to nominate themselves or another parent for this role.
I nominate Tamar Dakota.
Okay,
I second the nomination for Tamar.
I also nominate Tamar for the position.
I also nominate Tamar for the position.
Okay. Ms. Dakota, could you unmute and either accept or decline the nominations which just went out for you to be the CEC rep for the upcoming school year?
Yes, I accept. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other parents that would like to nominate themselves for the CEC rep position?
This is means like I do.
Yes. Would you like to nominate yourself for the CEC position?
I'm Spanish. Sometimes understand a little, but you need to explain it good what I need to do.
Sure. So you will be attending a monthly meeting at the superintendent's office every month. The first Monday of every month, you will attend the meetings. You will get all of the information. You're a representative for 235. So and when you attend, you're our CEC, you're the CEC rep for 235, and you will be attending those meetings. There meetings where there's lots of information shared. The superintendent gives an address. There are community members that attend that meeting that share information. And so you will be attending, again, any concerns that families at 235 may have and it's brought to our attention. You will be sharing this with the district at these meetings. So it is that commitment of being our representative at the district's office once a month. And then when we have our general PTA meetings once a month, you will give those updates and that information to all of our parents that are in attendance.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
I will take your information, Ms. Bernard. I will take your information and we will follow up with you. If you would need a translator to share this information for you to get a better understanding, we will do that.
Okay, that is good. That
Okay,
is good.
yes, we will
Yeah,
do that.
thanks.
I'm writing down your name so that we can follow up with you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, at this time, we are going to have the ECC Ditmas site. Our ECC is not, as many of you may know, at Lenox Road. And so this was a position for a few years. We did not have the position active. When the bylaws was updated, we reactivated this role because it really is important to let our ECC families, our kindergarten students and families know that we are one school, we're one unit, even though the buildings are not connected. And so this position is really important. We want to keep the activities and various things that are done at the main building. We really want to, the goal is to revive that and to keep that going. So you will be the representative for our ECC building. And so this is a position if you will have a kindergarten child at the school next September. So I'm not sure because we are expecting an incoming kindergarten class, but we also have parents that have pre-K students, right, that may be going over to the ECC. So if that is your case, that you have a child that will be at the ECC September of 2024, this would be a position for you as a parent that has a child in kindergarten to nominate yourself. And if we don't have parents right now, this will be a position that will be on the election. There will be an election done in September when the school year begins. So I'm leaving the floor open at this time. And if we don't, we will continue. Is there any parent that will have a kindergarten child attending 235 at the ECC location in September that would like to nominate themselves for this position? Okay, so we will table this position until the new board will have this position and the elections done when the school year begins in September. But we have gone through all the positions that are active according to our bylaws, and we have received nominations for each and every position here. So this is really exciting. I will like to share some additional information. Being a part of the 235 family for about 10 years now, and being a part of this amazing PTA, every year it is just a pleasure to serve, and it's a pleasure to have like-minded parents that are committed to serving the school. And every year we end, it's just another year of just celebrating all of that was done with the help and with the support of the families and with the amazing 235 administrators that we have right now. So president, vice president's been elected, secretary, recording secretary, correspondence secretary, treasurer, assistant treasurer. These are roles that I would also like to say that are every single role is important, but every single role we ask parents to really consider if you will have the time. Also, if you would have, I hope I'm using the right word, the skills or the ability to fulfill those duties. For example, correspondence secretary, checking our emails. Parents sends email to us, we like to get back to them. So all of these things is a simple, logging into our email, responding back. But we ask parents to really consider that you will have the time and that you will have the commitment to fulfill these duties. And because you will have an amazing supporting team members, it is something that we will learn and grow together. So also don't feel intimidated, don't feel shy that, oh, there are things I want to learn. You will have an amazing group of fellow parents who will be there to support and to make sure that the year continues along successfully. I'm opening the floor at this time for any questions that any parent may have regarding any of the positions that we went through tonight. Feel free to unmute yourself. I'm going to stop sharing at this time. Okay, so there are no questions. That's a good thing. We are utilizing families tonight's meeting while we have more than 8 parents in attendance to quickly fulfill a duty that our school has to fulfill, which is, as you know, we have Title I, and so Title I comes with some additional responsibilities. We have a Title I pack, and there is a bylaw. It's 3 pages. I tell you, it's not a very, very long document, but we do need at least 10 families to remain on with us while the bylaws for the Title I pack is looked at and typed in and basically created tonight. Mr. Lewis is the co-chairperson of the Title I, so he'll be leading that portion of the meeting. And so we're going to continue. We're going to wrap up the nomination meeting. I appreciate your attendance and your time. And we still have about 40 minutes left to the 7 o'clock hour. So we want to get right into the second portion of that tonight's meeting while we have enough families that would make this a legit formation of our bylaws. So if you can spare another 10 to 15 minutes, we need at least 10 parents. Please don't leave. And if you have to leave and you've been here for the nominations, we want to say thank you. Do not feel like you're alone. We also have the 22nd that everyone nominated would have to be here. I would like to say, if you know of another parent that maybe missed this meeting, or you're here and you weren't sure you wanted to nominate yourself, but you think about it, and in 2 weeks on the 22nd, you said, yes, I want to step forward and nominate myself. Any one of these positions, you are able to, on the 22nd, to nominate yourself. So tonight was nominations. We're happy, but it's not the end. You have 2 weeks to consider. And on the 22nd, please be present for that election meeting. And maybe that time you want to nominate yourself, president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, any one of those positions. These positions are open to any parent or legal guardian of a student that attends PS 235. It is not closed off. It's not an elite group. It's for any parent willing and able to serve our school community. So I appreciate your time here. Think about it if you haven't, and you still have 2 weeks to come back on the 22nd and nominate yourself for any of these positions while the elections take place. Are there any questions for me at this time? Okay. As always, it's a pleasure being here. I'm going to mute myself and pass it over to the second portion of the meeting. Thank you so much, families. Ms. Lewis, you can take over.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Again, this is to go over the bylaws for the Title I funding. In particular, I will now hand it over to Principal Grant. So that we could commence with the bylaws. I don't have them to share, so I would like Principal Grant to put them on screen and share them, and we could go over them.
One moment, let me pull them up. Hold on. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for staying on and Right, I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Everyone should be able to see my screen, I hope. And here we have the overview for the Title I. And their scheduled times that the families are called together to go through the meeting times as well as the PAC. Information is distributed to the community. It's also shared with the city through a specific portal from the school side to show that we are in alignment with the protocol, rules, and regulations for Title I. The funds are used towards activities during the school day as well as after school to support learning. Additional information is given about the roles and responsibilities for the Title I PAC. And again, the PAC means the Parent Advisory Council, as well as the principal and any other staff members that support the parents as well as students throughout the school year. An election was held earlier this year for a chairperson as well as an alternate. And the length of the term is listed. And some of the planning that has taken place. And that's shared with the SLT over the course of the school year, as well as the staff. One of the items that we did use funding to support is elite learners, as well as the iReady program that many of our students are using in school as well as at home. We've also used funding to purchase a variety of items that are needed by families. Here are some of the timelines that we have passed. For us, our team, our Title I PAC team started later in the school year than what's listed here in front of us. However, we've done our best to meet many of the expectations set forth by the city as well as the district to meet the needs of students and families. And just below, we have the required activities. So these are some things that we must complete during the course of the year. Any questions thus far? Right, Mr. Lewis, I'm going to turn it back over to you in just 1 second.
All right. So, in particularly, this is a message out to the parents, to the folks that have not or do not fill out the Title I funding form when it comes. It's critical and vital to fill out those documents and send it out. Throughout New York City, if we look at our counterparts that are outside of the city, in the suburbs, in Long Island, we see the drastic difference in terms of how the schools are funded per student, right? And in New York City, it's extremely low for having the largest school district in America compared to several of the smaller ones around us in the tri-state. You know, New York City, the children are not given what they need to get. We are happy that so far we've had couple great after school programs, elite learners. You know, we have the Cub Scouts of America, something that I remember as a child being a part of that, you know, graduating from PS 235. But we need more. And the only way we could get more is by the support of the parents. I know there is, you know, there is a thing with people signing and agreeing to you know, have your information to a point filled out. But that's the only way you could get the funding. They will only know that you exist once you're on paper. It's just similar, you know, like the census that comes every 10 years. If they don't know you exist, you cannot get the funding. It's the exact same thing. So we need not be afraid of this. It helps the school. It allows for more access to the after school programs, you know, because a lot of those programs were a first come, first served basis. And it could have been open to more if there was additional funding. And we have to always remember that. There's a saying, closed mouth does not get fed. So we have to be proactive, even in the away from the Title I, but the specific college funding that was given for the grades 2, I think it's kindergarten through 2nd grade. All those parents who did not apply to that, I and my wife filled out for Zanai Lewis, and she has that fund. And so many people had so many misnomers about it. Oh, they're gonna take away their benefit if they're on some type of state or federal benefit. Or none of that is the case. We have to get away from some of these urban myths. And you know, sometimes the paranoia, you know, even though things have happened in the past, in this day and age, we have to be a lot more proactive. So I'm looking for the support of all the folks here to tell the rest of the other parents, tell the folks that are wrong, please, this is vital. As soon as you get it and it comes up, please participate, fill it out, and send it back in so that we could make sure to continue to get the Title I. There was a time, if I'm not mistaken, Principal Grant, that PS 235 lost the funding for a period of time. And if those parents were wrong, if you had children or family members around that time, you would have seen the drastic change in terms of what we have today to the time when that Title I funding was lost. So you could see proactively what's being done. Please, folks, let's get this done and make PS 235 be the place that everybody it flourishes and enjoys. Thank you.
Absolutely. We have not had Title I funding probably in maybe 10 years, if not more, to my recollection. So it has been a very, very long time. All right. What I'm going to do is share the actual policy for our school. So everyone can see, and we can then move forward with our next steps. I'm sorry, this is not playing along right now. Right, you should be able to see where it says Title I, Parent Advisory Council, PAC, Guidance Policy. And it starts off with our goals and objectives for the school year. And it refers back to some of the items that I mentioned earlier, in partnership with school administration, teachers, staff, parents, caregivers, and the school leadership team, because this school leadership team plays a big role as well. And many conversations about our direction on an academic level, as well as how we spend funding that includes the Title I funding to support students and teachers, are discussed during our SLT meeting. So that's why it's also open to the community. So please feel free to join us anytime we have a meeting. It involves the recruitment, something that we'll discuss again in the fall when we restart. And number 5, reference back again, our spending plan. Oops. And the outreach for new members, voting privileges. And please let me know if I'm scrolling too quickly. The different positions, the Title I chairperson, Ms. Mannings, and our co-chair, Mr. Lewis, or alternate chair. Terms of the office. And Ms. Nicholas and Mr. Lewis, the term of the office is for 1 school year. Is that correct?
Yes.
And our quorum, where we need at least 8 parents. And 2 must be a part of the Title I PAC members, must be present during the meeting. And the duties of the officers. For our chairperson. As well as our alternate. And for reviews and amendments. So this is where we are for this meeting. So we're reviewing the roles and responsibilities. We started off by looking at the chancellor's regulations and guidelines for Title I committee. But for this conversation, we do need to review if there are any amendments that are suggested. We do need your input at this point. If there are no amendments, we would move forward with getting our names and signatures on this document for our Title I. Mr. Lewis, is there any portion would you like me to go back to, or are there any questions?
I have no questions. I don't know if any of the other parents that are online have any questions. If it's not broken, don't fix it. You know, that's my motto. You know, thank you to Principal Grant and the person that was sharing before that allowed us to get back to the Title I, which is very vital. And I don't believe I want to hamstring or throw any monkey wrench into anything that's there. We just need the support of everyone to be proactive and to make sure we maintain and keep it so that the future generations, including my little one, Miss Zuri, my 20-month-year-old, who's going on 20 years old, when she gets to PS235, she will have access to the Title I and all the benefits from that Title I. Are there any comments or any discussion on the amendments or adding amendments, or do we call a vote to leave as is and get the signatures from all the designated parties to go forward with the process? I would like one of the parents to make a motion to accept the Title I bylaws as read and as written.
My name is Sean Lewis, and I make a motion to accept the bylaws as read and as written.
This is Hartwell Aline. I second the motion to accept them as written.
Very well. So since we have a first and a second, I believe that to call a vote now, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Yes, maybe.
Any opposed? If not, then Principal Grant, we go forward.
Right, thank you very much, everyone. The bylaws, once they're signed, will be posted on the school's website, so you can go back to it at your own time and read at your own discretion. Thank you, everyone, for your support. As always, I appreciate you all, and I look forward to seeing you on the 22nd when we have our election for the coming school year. And congratulations to all of our nominees.
Congratulations and thank you, families.
Thank you so much. I look forward to continuing to grow with the team, continuing to do the mission that we've been given. We know the spirit that we walk in, and we know the commitment that we have for our children. So we want to continue in the spirit that we've been working with our president, Ms. Nicholas. She is gifting us that spirit to continue to walk in that. And if we do that, PS235 is going to soar to higher and higher levels. So with God's blessing, we will continue to do great work as a team, as a family. 235 strong.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great evening and see your lovely faces tomorrow.
Have a good evening, everyone.
Have a good
Good
evening.
evening, everyone.
Good
Congratulations.
Good evening, everyone. God bless
Thank
you, everyone.
you.
Good night.
Congrats
Thank
Have a good
all.
evening.
Congratulations,
Good night.
teammate. Don't forget the boutique tomorrow.
Yes, our
Yes.
boutique.
Yep, our boutique.
Kids with their money.
Hart, are you going to be there during the day? Who's going to be there?
I'm here right now.
Oh.
And I'll be there in the morning, but we need help to do inventory. Cause we're here going through the boxes. It's quite a lot of items and we need to inventory so we can actually place them out.
Oh, how long will y'all be there till?
We'll be here for a little bit. You know, if you want to make your way over, I mean, Principal Grant, what's the status in terms of us being able to be here to set this stuff up?
What time?